Hey, y'all. Welcome to It's Time with Keandra Ward. I am your host, Keandra Ward. I'm excited because if you missed last week, I need you to go back, go to our YouTube channel. You can find the information below and watch that episode. We talked about stress management. We talked to an amazing nurse, and you were able to get all kinds of information from our co-host for this segment or for this series. Now, I've told you guys before that I'm in a space in my life where I'm looking at every area of my life, and health and wellness has become a major part of my life simply because I'm a caregiver and I have to make sure I take care of my mom, but also taking care of myself in the interim. So I reached out to my sister, my girl, the amazing Michelle Greene Rhodes, to be my co-host for this, because why would I talk about a topic that I am not an expert in? And why would I not bring the best of the best to you guys? So let me go ahead and bring her up. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Keandra. Hey, sis.
Hey, girl. So tell everybody now, I brag on you all the time. And every time I meet a nurse, I'm like, you need to know Michelle. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Oh, wow. Well, I am, again, Michelle Greene Rhodes, the founder of the Color Wellness Media. You can find us at colorwellness.co. And we are I believe, here in this space in purpose to be the media go-to for Black families. So we're comprised of Black nurses, and we serve Black families through health and wellness education.
I love it. Listen, did you hear what she said? She said colorofwellness.co. I am on, let me tell y'all, I love to read. I'm a reader, and health and wellness has been something that I have been focusing on. And I click on every button, every page of the magazine, and we're going to start subscribing and becoming a member so that we can get the full layout of the magazine. Aren't we, people? Yes, we are. It is amazing. It is designed for us, by us. People say for us, by us, but for African Americans and for people of color to understand the importance and the things that we face, and how to overcome some things, how to deal with things. There's amazing articles. She has an amazing staff and team. So make sure you guys jump in, log in, get the magazine, read the magazine. Not only read it, utilize the information, and then pass it on, right? Is that what we want to do? That's what we want to do, right?
Yes, we are. Pass it on. Hashtag pass it on.
Hashtag pass it on, because I think information is knowledge, and we need to be informed. And a lot of times we don't move because we're just not informed and we do not know. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring the guests that we have in this series up, because they are doing some dynamic things in communities and the world, and we just do not know about it. And you, with your media crew, your job is to make sure that people know.
Amen.
I love it. So listen, the one thing that we've looked at in health and wellness, and we don't think about, is relationally, how do we disseminate this information, the different ways to disseminate the information. We know that there may be podcasts out there that some of your students are doing. There are magazines, there's the news. And I met this amazing woman several years ago, probably before COVID. And we just got to talking, and then we got on the phone one day and we're talking, and she was just telling me about first of all, how you see somebody and you're like, oh, I kind of know what they do. And then you start talking to them and you're like, wait a minute, now you do what? And you do how? And oh, really? I didn't even know that was a thing. She's amazing. And I want the world to meet her, because her brand is really committed to the community and really helping those in the community get the services and understand and navigate through the healthcare through healthcare for themselves and for their loved ones. And as a caregiver, I really connected the heart of me connected with what she does, because there was a time where I needed someone to do the things that she has helped people to do, and I didn't have that, and so to see her and what she does. So I'm going to bring up our guest for today, Mrs. Val Davis. Hey, Val.
Hey, ladies.
Thank you for your yes. Thank you for coming on. You know, Michelle, as it relates to the industry, I know that there are so many avenues and so many things that people can do. I'm going to just pass it on to you as it relates to what that looks like, and then introducing Val into the fold of that.
Yeah, the beauty of healthcare is that it is so vast and we can do so many things. So it's amazing how we all seem to pick our niches and can drill down and really love what we do. And that's sometimes the hardest part for new nurses and healthcare professionals to drill down into. But once you find your lane, you master it. It is a beautiful thing how it all comes together for the body and for the community. So I heard you mention that for Val. I can't wait to hear more. That's ultimately what it's about. Us being servants, in healthcare to help our community stay healthy and well. So yeah, we all work together unknowingly.
I love that. I love that. So Val, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Valerie Davis. I go by Val. I have been a nurse for 6 years. I have done various things in the past 6 years. I have worked at health departments, clinics. I've managed clinics as well, worked in nursing homes, worked in various hospitals. I currently teach at USF. Helping prepare the next generation of nurses to take care of our growing population. And I pretty much, on my free time, I love to read. I read a lot of peer review articles about health and wellness. So it basically never leaves me, no matter what. And I am happily married, no kids yet. And that's pretty much it about me.
I love it. I love it.
So where are you located, Val? Are you here in Tampa Bay?
I am here in the Tampa Bay area. I am located in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay, my hometown.
Oh, I've been here for a long time. Yes.
Look at that.
Small world.
Yeah, very small.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I asked that because, of course, as we, talk today, people will want to know how to find you and where you're located so that they can access your services.
Correct. So my services are mobile. I do provide mobile services, so I can go into people's homes and provide my services there. I also have my office at 780 Central Ave, St. Petersburg, Florida. That's where we can also meet, do seminars there, where I could meet with a client there. But I'm very mobile. I enjoy being mobile because sometimes not everyone has transportation in order to get the services. So I am more than happy to offer those services mobile as well.
Awesome. So let's go back a little bit so we can just let the people know what those services are, your background, so what they are and who you serve. Let's start there.
Okay, so I basically serve adults, mostly adults. I don't service children because I'm not a pediatric nurse, but I do service adults from 22 all the way into the geriatric population. Some of the services that I do provide are patient advocacy services. This service basically provides advocacy for patients or the caregivers when they're in the hospital or if they're at a doctor's office. Sometimes our patients do not really understand the lingo in the healthcare field, and they don't know what questions to ask in order to advocate for their wants and their needs. So this service provides our patients with the ability to either call one of our nurses, ask them any questions, or ask for any clarifications that has been discussed with their healthcare provider. Another service that I provide is a Florida medical power of attorney and living will documentation. This service, a lot of people believe that it it's only provided by lawyers. However, it's not only provided by lawyers. In the state of Florida, you are actually allowed to provide this documentation, prepare this documentation yourself, and of course, have a lawyer or a paralegal review it just to ensure that all your wants and needs are there, just in case something would happen to you. The lawyers and paralegals, what they actually do is they work with healthcare professionals such as doctors and nurses to help them with lingo, medical lingo, to help them with preparing those documents. So what I do is I basically cut out the middle person. I prepare those documents with you. I review it with you. And then I have a paralegal review that documentation. And then I go ahead and provide it to you. So basically, if you go into the hospital and you have a decision that you need to make, you can make it and you can provide that documentation. Or in the event that you are not able to make decisions for yourself, the person that you have appointed can make those decisions on your behalf. And that documentation proves that. All too many times, I have seen a lot of family dynamics where the son or the daughter or the spouse will make a decision, and then there's like fights that break down in the hospital or the clinic, all because a documentation wasn't provided. This helps prevent all of that. There's no gray areas. It's black and white, and it helps provide the care that is wanted by the patient. One of the other services, well, two more of the services that I do provide is CPR and rapid response training. I do believe that it's not only in the healthcare field, people need to be trained with CPR. Anywhere there's people, there should be someone on staff that is CPR certified, because you just never know what could happen in the event that someone heart stops. You can be that person to save that life. So I feel like everywhere, restaurant, churches, I don't care where it is, there should at least be one person on staff that is CPR certified. And one of the last services that I do provide is very near and dear to my heart. It's health and wellness seminars. That is so near and dear to my heart because for the past 6 years, even prior to COVID, I have seen way too many people either get worse or pass away due to exacerbation of an illness such as diabetes or hypertension, because they're not taking their medication and they feel like they can manage it on their own. There's just so much information out there. I am trained to read and do my research on peer review articles only. So sometimes my friends were like, oh, here's this article. And I'm like, if it's not peer reviewed, I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it, because peer review articles only allow your colleagues, your trained and certified colleagues, to do that research, prepare that document, and make sure it is correct before releasing it out to the public. So I've done a lot of research because I love reading. And there's a lot of things that the population don't know that sometimes the doctors and nurses don't have time to teach you, but that help you manage your chronic disease or prevent it, because you don't have to wait to have something in order to prevent it from happening.
See, I told you guys, listen, it's important to bring these resources and experts to the light, because we don't know what we need until we need it, or until someone shows us that we need it. So let's kind of go back. Let's kind of circle back just a little bit, because I have a couple questions, and then I know Michelle has some questions as well. But as it relates to, remember I said I'm a caregiver, right? And so at the time, I didn't even know that it was available for somebody to help me navigate the process, right? So what should people look for? Or what questions should we be asking if that is something that we need? You know what I'm saying? Is there a Google search? What is it? Because I didn't even know that that there was somebody in the middle outside of the people at the hospital. You know how they have the little advocate person at the hospital who come in and come out, you never see them again, that person. It was like, all right.
Who was that again? What was her name? We never catch the name, right?
Got a number that's never answered, messages left, that one. I mean, really, Michelle, like seriously, I literally had to start researching and asking, and I'm on Amazon looking for books with the name of what my mom had. Like I'm because that's just who I am. Naturally, everybody isn't like me. You know, I'm a digger. I'm gonna find it out. Okay. But what about those people who they're not like me, but they know they need the help?
Okay.
Why is it
So
important, and what should we look for?
it's important because Google is just vast. Google is vast. And unless you're in school, it doesn't matter what program, if you're not trained how to decipher between certain research, you won't know. So I always tell my patients when I do take care of them, don't Google, because if you Google, it's going to tell you you're going to die, you know? And it's overwhelming and it's scary. Okay. Google can't replace doctors. Google can't replace nurses. They just can't. One of the things that people should look for are patient navigators. We have them in our local community health centers. We have them at the health departments. Usually, when people hear healthcare, they just think hospital. There's so many, especially in the Pinellas County, Hillsborough County. There are so many community health services. You have these programs that are free to the public, but no one knows. No one knows because it's not being advertised. Advertisement costs a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah.
A health department is funded by the government. They're not going to spend their money advertising all of these services.
Right.
But our community health centers have patient navigators. Our health departments have patient navigators. Whether I'm here in St. Pete, I'm in Miami, go to your local health department and ask to speak with the patient navigators.
Mm.
And they can help you. They can guide you. There are so many resources out there. And that's why I'm here to steer people in the right way, because
Through it all.
through it all. What if you're not in the Tampa Bay area and I can't help you? Go to your local health department, go to your local community health services and ask to speak with a patient navigator, because the whole purpose of that job and that title is to help navigate our patients in the right directions for services that they may need for their health or for a caregiver. There's just so many they even have groups. You know how people have like AA meetings? There are groups for caregivers, because I've done the research. Being a caregiver sometimes is just as bad as having that patient go through that disease. It is immensely stressful. You're
Right.
trying to be there, but while you're being there, your cortisone levels are shooting up, blood pressure is shooting up. You think you're fine, but you're not. It's just so
it's
many.
true.
So patient navigators. That's what you need to research. Whatever state you're in, research your local patient navigators. I know they're in our local health centers and our health departments.
Awesome. I agree. Blood pressure, hospitalized. That's all me. We had an episode where my mama was in one room and I was in the other room.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, you know, not having the proper resources. And the nurse, it was an African American nurse, came into the room, and she literally looked at me. And you know how you know somebody has the same faith as you and they ain't got to say nothing? Just the way she moved. And she said, do you want to live or do you want to die? And I was like, I want to live, you know?
Yeah.
And she was like, these are the things that you're going to have to do as a caregiver. You know what I'm saying? And it made me begin. But it was a nurse who told me to start looking for help. You know what I'm saying? So my heart with nurses is just real soft. It really is. Simply because I have family that are nurses, and in my time of desperate need, it wasn't the doctor, it wasn't the patient advocate, it was the nurse who actually was like, what are you going to do about this? And let's, here's some things that you need to start looking at. So Michelle, how important is advocacy in what you all do?
Whew, I don't know where to start. And I'm sure Val knows. She probably has better statistics than I do. But I like to start with statistics. Like color wellness got started because of that statistics. African Americans dying at 3 times the rate of any other race during the height of COVID. But we also live in this very different time where we have 4 generations alive right now. We have your we're Gen X, I believe. I don't know about y'all. I'm Gen X.
I don't even know, to be honest.
You got millennials, you got Gen Z, and then I don't know the new ones now where my daughter's in. They have another name. So this is the first time and then baby boomers as well. I forgot those, but you see what I'm saying? Like we're in this different time where, as you are living this, in your own life, Keandra, where our parents, are at the age where they're either retiring, and then how do they live throughout their retirement? I say all that to say is that we have to be knowledgeable because we have so many people around us who need us. And that can be both older than us or younger than us. It doesn't matter right now. But we've seen all ages get affected by health and wellness concerns during this really different time that we are living in. So it's important that we understand advocacy, that we be able to speak up on their behalf, that we understand those wishes, or we really understand the challenges that they have in their health. It's important. And I think this because just around us, all of us are dealing with life, health and wellness, and we have got to be able to understand how to use our can happen at any moment, which I love about what Val is doing, because at any time something can happen and we all need to be ready.
Right. I agree. I definitely agree. So let's talk about the ability to I don't know, I want to make sure I'm saying the term right. What is it? The power of attorney and living the documentation.
Yes.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay. So in too many situations, what has happened and I have seen, I try to be as clear and concise when it comes to taking care of my patients and their wishes and desires, especially if they're at end of life. I also explain to my patients and also their caregivers and family members in front of them what the patient wishes are, because it's really about what the patient wants and not necessarily what the family member wants. I have been in a situation where my patient was dying. She had respiratory issues. She wasn't doing too good. She was on a vent. She would be in and out, in and out, in and out. She did not have a living will or a power of attorney. We did everything that we could to help her sustain. However, quality of life was going down. She had 2 kids, a son and a daughter. We spoke. Doctor spoke with the children. I reiterated what the doctor said so that I can make sure that they understood what the doctor said. And they wanted their mom to live. And I can understand that because I love my mom very much. They wanted their mom to live. However, me looking at the patient, mom was suffering. Mom wasn't doing good. It was hurting mom to breathe. She was in pain. And I can handle anything, but I can't handle seeing someone in physical pain. It will break my heart. I will fight for you to make sure we get everything to make you comfortable. That week, I worked 4 days in a row. And I had her 4 days in a row, which is a lot. 4 days in a row, 12-hour, 13-hour shifts. And I took care of her. And there was a fight every day with daughter and son. One moment, the patient would be alert and oriented. She said, yes, I do not want to be resuscitated. If I pass away, let me go. And then her daughter said, okay, this is what we want. Son came in to visit her. Next moment, she changed her mind. It was like she was being coerced into living. She was in pain. And then daughter and son fighting in the hospital while their mom is dying. Mm-hmm. It broke my heart. we had to call security to escort them out because they were making mom worse.
Mm.
I've seen way too many instances like this, and it all could have been prevented with just one documentation. You do not, and I'm going to say this for everybody because young people think that they're invincible. Young
Right.
people think they're going to live forever. And I've taken care, and nowadays, it doesn't matter what age you are.
No.
Mhm.
I've had 20-year-olds die. I've had 30-year-old. I'm in my 30s. I'm taking care of people my age, and they're dying.
Yeah.
They're dying. It doesn't matter what age you are nowadays.
Anymore. Mm-mm.
Go ahead.
Having it is, it doesn't even matter. Like, so we're, a lot of times we think of those, I'm getting a will and I'm getting all these things, power of attorneys, or, these documents when I'm older. But we should start thinking of having these documents now.
Now, it's so important because I rather, honestly, because I'm married, right? I tell my husband, if something were to happen to me, I don't need him stressing out on what decisions to make. And he's a teacher. He's not even in the healthcare field. I mean, I've trained him with everything that I know. But let's just say something happens to me, right? I'd rather him grieve in peace with just that issue instead of dealing with he has to make this decision for me, he has to make that decision for me. Let the man grieve in peace. The documentation is here. This is what Valerie wanted, and you have to address these wishes. You have to abide by them.
That just woke me up because I'm like, I take it. My mama paperwork is straight. You know what I'm saying? But
For your children.
You don't want your children fighting.
girl,
Like,
I'm about to start crying. I'm like, oh my God.
yes, it's true. It's just so many like we can prevent this. We can.
Right.
We can. I don't know if I step out my house right now. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. Yes, I love God, and yes, my faith is like up there. Yes, it is. But I'm still human, and I live in this body, and this body isn't here forever. I don't know. So instead of creating all these other stressors, do the documentation.
Yeah. And we know once the court step in, it's totally different. It goes a totally different way. You get all sorts of interventions. You become this,
You can put whatever you want in it. Some people, yes, if their heart stopped, they want the CPR, but they don't want to be intubated. Some people want the CPR, they want to be intubated, they want every measure. Every measure. I had to give CPR on an 80-year-old woman. CPR. I was on that bed giving CPR. I hear her bones cracking.
Mm.
And I know as soon as she comes back, that quality of life is not going to be good. Unfortunately, she didn't make it, and it was tough. It was tough. But the doctor had to talk with the next of kin because they did not have any paperwork. So legally, you had to talk to the next of kin. Next of kin made the decision to make her a DNR so we would stop crushing her bones. I didn't want to do that. That was traumatic for me. It would be different if I did it on like a 45-year-old, a 50-year-old, but she was frail and she was sick. I felt like I caused her more harm because family wanted her alive even though she didn't.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's important. Yeah. Woo.
Yeah, those are the tough conversations. Yeah, I understand.
That's why we're here.
For sure.
Yeah.
So important. Like I said, especially with baby boomers now as well, we have so many people retiring, definitely so many people dying earlier. So we just have to all be ready. So I like that point that you made, Val. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you real quick though. I know it's a slight pivot, but you mentioned that you bring this information and more into seminars across the Bay. Can you tell us more about that and what do you teach about?
Okay, so this one is near and dear to my heart. I offer this service for free because it's near and dear to my heart. It's a burning passion of mine. Throughout my 6 years, going on 7 years of being a nurse, I have seen a lot. I have seen a lot. I've seen a lot prior to COVID. I've seen a lot after COVID. Mostly in the Black African American community. I'm going to emphasize on this. I say Black because I'm a Haitian woman. I am a Black Haitian woman. My husband is an African American man. It doesn't matter what Black nation you come from. Statistically, we have the same issue.
Mm.
Caribbeans have the same issue with hypertension and diabetes. Africans have the same issue. Jamaicans, same issue. African Americans here, same issue. So that's why I say Black/African Americans. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes in the Caribbean culture, we think that certain diseases don't apply to us. My husband tells me all the time the only difference between him and I is that my ancestors got off the boat in Haiti, his ancestors got off the boat in America. When we're looking at statistics, Blacks, African Americans, and Hispanics are number one in hypertension, diabetes. We hear about it all the time. Unfortunately, what happens is with the people that I've taken care of, hypertension is not something I play with. I believe in Western medicine and I believe in Eastern medicine. I believe in both. And the reason why is if you have a heart attack, it's not time to sit there and meditate and drink tea and herbs. You need to go to the hospital so you can get the proper treatment, right? Get the proper treatment and then we go from there. However, if you don't have those, you can do preventative things like, of course, check with your doctor, drink your herbal teas, things like that. There's so many misinformation out there. My target population are Black churches, and I have seen this. I'm currently in nurse practitioner school, and I just wrote a paper specifically on hypertension with Black African Americans in the churches. Because if you look at the white churches, my classmate wrote a paper on hers with white churches, and I wrote mine on Black churches. There's a difference. There are disparities. What I see too many times is especially Black men, they're not going to take their medication. God got it. God's my provider. God's this. God's that. They're not taking their medication. And if they're not taking their medication, they're not even exercising, eating the right food to help their health. There's so many misinformation out there. If they take the medication, they're going to have all sorts of problems. But you have hypertension, and it's called a silent killer for a reason. Because I could be sitting right here, calm, cool, and collected, and my BP's up the roof. Next thing you know, you passed out with a stroke, not even knowing. Because your body compensates for so much. Too many people die of diabetic complications and hypertension for no reason. These diseases we shouldn't be dying of, and we should not be in the hospital for the complications if we're doing the right thing. It's ridiculous. Right. I had a 42-year-old man 2 months ago. I was teaching one of my students, 42, stroke, left side stroke, completely paralyzed, can't move because he had hypertension and didn't take his medication. 42. You're telling me you won't take the medication, you won't exercise, just for you to end up paralyzed, can't do anything for yourself? It's not. I was so sad and upset because it's too common. It's too common and no one is stressing the issue. Yes, we had a pandemic. This is an epidemic. Come on. We should not be dying for hypertension or diabetes complications. And with those two diseases, you will have heart issues. You will have kidney issues. Some of our diabetic and hypertensive medication patients end up on dialysis. It's a whole system. It's a whole
Right.
system. And there are things that you can do with your doctor.
That's true.
But we don't have time to educate because we only have 8 hours. We got to see, 100 patients a day. We don't have the time. We don't. It's not our fault. We don't have the time.
And that's where you come in.
That's where I come in with these seminars. Yes.
Seminars. And the seminars you said are complimentary. They're
Yes,
free
they
for
are.
different organizations and places.
Yes. I
Wow.
will come to your church. I will come to your corporate organizations and teach because it's not,
Okay.
you are composed of so many different things. You are spirit living in a body. Give the spirit a chance to enjoy the body it's living in.
Come on. You better say it.
Give
I'm
it a chance.
Come on.
Yes,
So
listen,
good.
if your body is sick, the spirit will not stick. It won't. It won't. The spirit will be like, all right, this body's dying. I gotta go. And we go. And it goes.
I can't do what it needs to be done. It's not healthy.
It's not.
The temple is not healthy enough to do what the spirit needs. Baby, wait a minute. That's a okay.
I like that. I got to remember that. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, that makes so much sense. And I love the fact that you don't make any excuses for people not to get the information.
No.
You remove the barrier of excuse.
Yes.
And I love that because now that they know, they're accountable for the knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's our job here at all the brands that I have to share and let people know that these services are available.
Yes.
Especially because I know firsthand what it feels like to need. You know what I'm saying? The advocacy, the information, just in my life personally, and watching and even speaking with Michelle and watching some of the people that are in her network and her network of practitioners and the things that I've sat in a course with her and they were just talking and I'm not in the medical field and I'm sitting up there like, oh my God, like just not knowing just the simple things.
Yes.
That I even felt I went to her first tour here in Tampa, and I left feeling like I could do better and I should be doing more.
Yes.
And I think that we all need to take that approach. Michelle, you got something? Because it looked like you, what happened? Go ahead. I'm going to let you have it.
No, I didn't. First of all, I didn't realize that it, hit you that hard at the workshop. So thank you for sharing that. But I was just sitting here like, if it happened to you, then think about all of the other people. Like she's mentioning the impact of people who need the education or don't have access to it. So, which ties into why the Color Wellness was born. So we could have, digitally right where, because people are on their phones, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The churches where a lot of our people are as well. So yeah, so good.
I love that. So Val, tell us where we can connect with you. Where can we find more about your services, what you do, all of that?
So yes, my website is called infiniteabundancewellness.org. This is where you can find the website, who we are, what we do, and you can schedule any of the services that we meet. We can meet via Zoom at the office or in person. And that's where you can find me. We also are on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Awesome. And so in the topics that you talk about, I know you talk about prevention and health management. Are those topics that you talk about within your seminars, or what does that look like?
These are topics that I also include in my seminars as well. Definitely. It's various topics because I'm always doing research on how to live a better life or prevent certain things from happening in my own life. But they are also included in the seminars as well. We talk about women's health, men's health, sexual health, which is not really talked about in the churches, but I feel like it needs to be because there's a lot of issues that we can fix.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, I'm excited. Listen, I'm sitting up here like I got a lot of pastors I need to talk to. Like let me start calling them, and this is who you need to bring in. Again, thank you for your love and passion for people in the community and the drive to get the information out there that people don't know that's readily to them and that people don't even know that they need. And we were talking, and I'm excited because Val said she's going to give away a couple items and do some things for our guests. And so if you're watching, here's I'm going to let her talk a little bit about each one. I'm going to tell you what they are, and then I'm going to tell you how to log in for the giveaway. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a number and you'll see the information. Go ahead, utilize that text number, and you will be entered into the giveaway. She's giving away two things: the 50% off a CPR class. Now, remember, she told us that everywhere you go, there should be somebody that knows CPR, which made me think my whole staff, I need to call them and see who knows CPR, who doesn't, because we just need to do that. Because I didn't even think we have events all the time. We have events all the time. So if you're an entrepreneur and you have events, somebody on staff should know CPR if it's not you. That was one thing that got me. And then 50% off the POA healthcare surrogate documents. I already told y'all I had a whole epiphany moment. No, I need that. So if I need it, I know y'all need it because we just do. And for 1 week. And I'm excited for us to be able to know that these services are available and be able to engage. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll be able to see how to engage in that giveaway. Go ahead and do it because you don't know what you need until you need it. So tell us a little bit about the CPR and the POA, like the process a little bit.
Okay, so with the CPR class, it is 4 hours. It is accredited by American Heart Association. So I do have my training from them. So we do offer that class. We have mannequins and booklets and DVDs that we go over just to ensure that you are well trained on how to do that. That class is usually $100. So for watching the show for our viewers for a week, I'm offering that for half the price. So $50, I will do CPR and AED training. The AED is basically a machine that every public place should have. And if you go to your church or your restaurants, you'll see an AED machine. And I teach you how to use that. It's pretty simple. A lot of people can use that. And for the Florida POA, paperwork and healthcare surrogacy, that's usually very expensive with our lawyers. It's usually with us, it's usually $450. And so for our viewers, that's going to be half price for a week if you reach out, and we can help prepare those documents for you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. First of all, I thank you. Thank you for your offer, and thank you for that. If you're interested in that, you'll find the telephone number. What we're going to do is those people who are eligible to receive that, once we get all the information, we will send that over to Val and make sure that she gets it and you guys stay in contact. I think that it is our job to help to support the community to be better, live better, and do better. And so I thank you for, I keep saying thank you because I think Michelle, you're going to have to be like, Keandra, don't say thank you no more. Because I'm like, every time we talk to somebody, I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Because we don't know what we need until we need it.
Yeah.
We do not know. And so Oh gosh. So I'll close out. I'll let Michelle ask the last question and then we'll close out because I'm sitting up here like I need paperwork. I gotta get
That's how we feel when it comes to marketing. We're like, what? We gotta do all that?
Yeah, that's true.
So now she know how we feel, right?
Yes.
Oh, I know how
Yes.
y'all feel.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, with the feelings mutual, but I just want to say thank you as well as a fellow, nurse, registered nurse. Actually, one of my graduates is doing something similar in Hillsborough, as far as making sure patients understand what their doctor has said, going over their appointment findings, and then reviewing medications with them. So, but I keep going back to the generations just because y'all don't understand the number of baby boomers that are out there. A lot of them don't have a place to live. A lot of them are just moving into the senior part of their lives. They are really looking, searching for solutions, for education. And some of them have the resources to, pay for this type of it because they want to live long. They want to be active. So it is so important for us to show up and be ready to serve them as well. So we're in a prime time. This is like the golden era to me of healthcare, and those who are positioned and ready to help others will take advantage of this time. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Oh man,
You're welcome.
So one more time, let them know down here. They'll be able to see it down here where they can find you. And remember, those seminars for your organizations and your churches are complimentary. Get the information to your members and your team members and your leaders that they need. Because if they're not healthy, how are they going to do what they're called to do in your environment? So let's make sure that they're rounded mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. I know a lot of churches are on the financial structure game. So now let's think about the health structure as well. Let's look at what that looks like. So let us know how to find you one more time.
Yes, at www.infiniteabundancewellness.org, and on Facebook, Infinite Abundance Wellness, and Instagram as well at Infinite Abundance Wellness.
Well, thank you again. Thank you, God, for your time. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you both. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
So good. So good. She is feeling the need, honey. She is there for the people, educating the people, evidence-based. Because, when you came to our workshop, remember the first statistic I put up was like, guess how many people the percentage of people do you think search for their own personal health and wellness information on Google? Right. A whopping 75%, I believe it was. So that's a lot of people, a lot of information, and it's not all evidence-based. Like she mentioned, she's filtering it out. Like, I don't want to hear it. But some people see the first thing and it's like, oh, like you mentioned, like, this don't look too good. So you really have to be, scrupulous in what you're reading. But a trusted person like her is going to really help the masses get the information that they need, the good information.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I am through. Like, I am so over. Like, when I tell you, I'm like,
I see your face. You're like, deer in headlights. So yeah, we got work to do. We got work to do.
So let's. All right. So we're going to transition into our hot topic because I had another hot topic, but now after talking to Val, let's talk about we have work to do. That's going to be the topic. The topic is that we as younger people don't consider. Because I'm making sure that my parents have their stuff together, but I've never considered. I mean, you have your life insurance, you got that, but like these other things, because I never considered what the position that I'm in. What if my daughter had to, my daughters had to be in that position as it relates to me? Then what? Right? Michelle.
Yeah. Only because I did a hospice for 8 years of my nursing career. So it has been done for me for quite a while. Like, I do have a living will. My husband and I both have a living will and a regular will. So we did have that conversation. But I think, like you mentioned, we're busy. We don't have those tough conversations. And sometimes they're hard to have because you don't want to think about your last days. So it's good, I think, for us to have these conversations. It stimulates us to think about our spirit man. She mentioned, hey, I'm at peace with God. And then also I'm taking care of my physical body because my spirit, she said, you want the spirit to leave because they're like, I'm checking out. You ain't taking care of me. Girl, that thing was worth the whole 60 minutes. Like,
all right, I'm done. That was it. We could have stopped right there. We really could have stopped right there. Do you understand?
I was gonna say, hey, Holy Ghost, give me a little more time. Can you work with me? Can I put you on layaway?
I'm coming. I promise. Listen, I'm still
Hold
up
the
here.
bus. Don't leave yet. So yeah, we needed that now today more than ever. And we also mentioned how, age is no longer a factor. Right. So with all that being said, I think we have the extrinsic motivation that we need. Now you got to get the intrinsic motivation going to whatever that looks like for you, based on what we talked, whether it's family, whether it's your spirit, living forever. Well, those are things that make you personally want to take action. But it's time, as we mentioned earlier. So yeah, we got work to do.
We do have work to do. And I want people to really think about that. Age is irrelevant in the time. Age is irrelevant. It is, do you have the documentation? Do you have the things that you need in case of, or is the support there that you would need in the case of? Because as we could say, going through COVID, there was no age. We had some family directly affected by it and lost their lives, you know what I'm saying? And young, okay, under 30. And so, just thinking that the age does not matter. And so as we're talking about it, and I love that, let's talk about it. Like, literally, I want you guys, if you are watching, I want you to start having those conversations at home. Michelle, how important is it, do you feel, for people to just start having the conversation? It starts with a conversation.
Right. No, it's mandatory at this point. It's mandatory because we used to be able to put these off until I do it later, or I do it when I turn 50, 60, 65 when I retire. None of that matters. And COVID showed us that. Like, it does not matter. So we have to take each moment. You can't even say each day anymore. Each moment with, full of gratitude, but also preparedness.
Right. Oh my gosh. So listen, guys, I know y'all heard it. I know I'm full. Like, I'm so full. I know you guys heard the importance, the value, and the need to think of every area of your life. We're thinking about our financial structure. We're thinking about our future. We're thinking about the health and wealth. I talk about the health and wealth of your business all the time, but now we have to incorporate the health and wealth of your body, because if I'm not physically healthy, I'm gonna run the business anyway. It doesn't even matter. Just all of those things. So, that was good. Thank you. Michelle, again, it's because of you that made me really say these are conversations that need to be had. Just being in your presence, listening to you, watching your students, watching the value that they bring. I may not like every post, but I'm reading them and I'm clicking, okay? And so I do, because I want to make sure, one, that I'm supporting, but two, that I'm understanding. And it really has been a great episode. It really has been a great episode. And we have we've done it. 2 episodes down. We have 2 more to go for this series. Guys, listen. Just like Michelle said, the time is now. It is time. It's time to ask the questions. It is time to look at your future. It's time to look at your now. It's time to look at your past. It's time to ask those historical questions within your family. It's time to ask the right questions, to make the right moves for not only yourself, but your family and your future. And there's no better time than now. And you guys heard it. Val is giving you an opportunity to get the work done. She has services
for free.
She doing
I
a
mean,
whole listen, she telling y'all. I'm coming to tell y'all. She's giving you a seminar. She wants to come to you, and she'll come to you. Okay, she wants to come to you. Now y'all know how I am. When she get there, you better give her a little blessing. I mean, that's just me. I ain't gonna say that, but
love offering. Love offering.
Something.
Way to love. Show love. Show Mouse love.
Don't call. Listen, that's a whole different story. But she is doing it, and I don't. And you can tell by when she's talking the love. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
she has a love for people that she don't even know. You see what I'm saying? She
That's
got a
how
love
deep
for
it
people
is.
she doesn't even know. And that's what struck me when I talked to her. I was like, the people you want to serve, you don't even know yet. You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing. So listen, we could get into a whole nother conversation. I'm trying to close us out and I'm just going on. Listen, you guys, have the conversations. The time is now. Join us next week as we talk to another dynamic practitioner in the health and wellness space, with my co-host here, Michelle Greene Rhodes. Thank you, girl.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
It has been. It has been. So let's tell them where to find you again as we close out. Michelle?
Sure. Colorofwellness.co. Colorofwellness.co. And if you have any other healthcare professionals out there who are wanting to learn the power of digital media, learning how to, write for article publication, get seen and heard on podcasts, videos for profit, being able to participate in community events like what she's doing, then we teach all of that at medianurses.com.
medianurses.com and colorofwellness.co. And this wraps up another episode of It's Time with Keandra Ward. Listen, guys, it is time. It's time for you to live. It's time for you to love. And it's time for you to go out and pursue and be who God has called you to be. I am excited to bring this platform to you. If you want to be a guest on the show, visit KeandraWard.com. You'll see right down here, and go ahead and click that Be a Guest on the Show link. And let's talk. Let's see if we can make it happen. And another reason that I'm excited about, I always talk about visibility and how one of the main visions for myself in everything that I do, as a publicist, as a marketer, is to help people be more visible. And this platform is now another avenue to do that. And we're able to do it in two ways: being a guest and becoming an ad sponsor right here on the platform. Get your commercial. You can be on every week if you want to with us. And being an ad sponsor, that ad sponsorship will help, one, bring the visibility of your brand to our market as we continue to grow. And it'll also help us to do what we need to do here to bring the best of the best to you. My goal is to help you become visible, but my goal is to also get the reach that you need so that you can grow. So thank you again for watching. It's Time with Keandra Ward. Meet us right back here next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you then.